קודם כל תודה רבה לכם שחיכיתם, אני יודעת שהרבה פה כבר רעבים, זה הייטק בכל זאת, אז אני באמת מעריכה, ויש כאן הרבה חבר'ה שלי בקהל, אז כיף לראות אתכם, ואני רוצה להודות באופן ספציפי לדני ביקסון, הוא עומד שם, מדטו, שאנחנו חברים כבר הרבה שנים, הוא היה מרצה שלי לפני אי אלו שנים, ואני מאוד שמחה להיות פה היום. אנחנו נדבר היום על how to optimize, let's move to English, I'm sorry. So I just thanked the audience and my dear friend Danny Bixon, Dr. Danny Bixon is standing there. And today we'll speak about how to optimize profits using our data. I'll start with a short introduction of myself. I have a PhD in business administration from UC Berkeley. I recently came back to Israel about 6 months ago, just because I really like Israel. It's true that career opportunities abroad are amazing. However, minds in Israel, brains in Israel cannot be competed. So it's lovely to be here. And my doctorate is about how to use data for improving our businesses. I'm coming with a background in computer science. I was a programmer, also in this elite unit, R&D team leader. And then I developed into data science and product. And finally, I decided to get into even more details in academic settings. And I merge in my research between economics and data science. Everything is around things that are related to segmentation, targeting, product pricing, and positioning. And I conduct research, and I also love teaching. Other than that, I was never able to separate from the industry. So I also work with the industry and develop data products. I joined 2 wonderful data scientists, Dr. Jackie Asa and Dr. Roy Varshevsky. They are very known in the field of data science in Israel. We develop end-to-end projects, sometimes from a proof of concept of what our data can, if our data can actually tell us more than we think, into complete products. Things that are related, projects that are related to pricing, fraud detection, image and language classification, user behavior analytics, advertising optimization, and more. And why is it needed? Why are we even sitting here? Apparently, data is going to be bigger than today. Big data is going to be much bigger than today. IoT and so on is developing in a way that McKinsey, for example, is expecting that by 2018, the US alone could face a shortage of more than 150,000 people with deep analytical skills and with know-how to use the analysis of big data to make effective decisions. Forbes asks, will data science become the new bottleneck? And if we look at job trends, we see this exponential increase in job posting for data scientists. So, but today we'll focus on something that is very important to every business, and is to not only ask what we can do with data for products or for customers, but also what we can do with data for ourselves. And how to improve our NPV, our net present value, using our data. Einstein said, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing, never stop questioning. And the question is, how do we take this quote into our businesses? And the way to do it is actually these 3 parts that we always every day need to think about and see if we can automate it, if we can do it better. We start with the business analytics. What happens in our business? What happens in our, with our customers? What do they do? And then using these analytics, we should be able to predict, and by that, plan our strategies. What should we do towards tomorrow? All of that speaks about living today, and this is optimizing our net present value. And what is net present value? Net present value is a summation, as we can see, of our profits. It's kind of funny, but almost in every course that I give, I keep reminding the students that everything that business does should be focused on eventually making profits. And in fact, profit is an equation of 3 variables: demand times price minus cost, right? So our goal is to optimize our demand, optimize prices, and reduce costs. We always need to remember that. And today, in my research, I have developed an algorithm of how to optimize prices in a dynamic game with with consumers that learn and forget over time. I would be happy to refer you to my website and my research, and also if you like to schedule a meeting or meet after this presentation. However, today we will be able to focus on discussing optimization of demand and reducing costs using automation of this process. We always start with the need. Without need, we don't work, okay? So what are need? What is each business need? It is to know what will our target customers do in the future. This is our goal. However, how can we tell that? Except from guesswork. And this is our analytics. We want to firstly ask and focus on who are our target customers, and then what are they doing? We have it in our data, and then we want to predict what will they do in the future, as we discussed. So, given that we want to ask who are our target customers, we are discussing targeting. We want to look at our data and ask who are these people that we are working with. We might think that we know them very well, and they might think that that what they say is enough for us to know what they need. However, this is not the case. I'll show you. I'll discuss it a little more in the next slide. Using machine learning and methods like clustering and affinity analysis and so on, we can cluster much better. We can understand, for example, which features are used by varied industries, and by that learn what we should do for the future. As I said, many times we ask what our customers need, and the way that we want to reveal it is through asking them. However, when we ask them, what do they tell us? They either focus on a specific target that they have at a certain time, so the answers are very biased in that case, or they say that they want everything for a very small price, right? This is very natural. So, researchers like McFadden, Daniel McFadden, who also won the Nobel Prize for his work, showed that the way to reveal preference is actually through the choices, because our choices reveal our preferences. So generally, when we think about how we want to analyze what people want, we want to analyze their decision, their choices. In economics, we say that people derive utility from certain things in our product. So they derive negative utility from paying us our price, and then there are many features or versions of our product, or many products. So these come into the equation, and we need to always think, what do they think about our brand? Of course, compared to the other choices that they could make. What do they think about features in our product, and so on. Eventually, if we look at big data, we want to maximize probability and extract parameters of sensitivity to pricing, sensitivity to brands, and so on. And we do it, and we have quite a few methods. This is one of them. This is, for example, the likelihood of people choosing something compared to other things, and then we maximize it. So what we get eventually is, for example, we have 6 segments, such as the segment of people who pay, of people or businesses that pay us the most, or they have the highest lifetime value, or by industry like gaming, government, commerce, and financial. And we learn what the different preferences to different attributes of our product and other things. And what we extract from that, for example, the willingness to pay. Why should we work on certain features? For example, our product want to design the next version, the next service spec. How can they prioritize? This is a way to just automatically prioritize. The willingness to pay for a certain feature is higher than the willingness to pay for others. Obviously, it really, really depends. If it's business to business, willingness to pay is a little different than, for example, the research that I do on individual willingness to pay in supermarkets for certain categories. But we can do both, actually. And then we derive actions. So we can reduce probability of churn. We can increase cross-sale because, for example, we look at a segment and certain businesses in the segment that we have realized that are not doing things as they probably should do because the rest of the segment is doing that. So we might want to cross-sale, give them or upsell certain features to them. And of course, when we understand willingness to pay, it is easier to convert people because we give them what they can pay and want to pay. But the most important thing, and this is the essence of the presentation today, as a business, in order to design better products, the process that was used to, that businesses used to work with, where products were using guesswork or information from sales or all this incomplete and biased information, this process should be automized and enhanced in many ways because we can gather the data and understand what we have and what we do and what our customers are doing. So the full solution is, just to see it in one slide, is I encourage each business here to collect usage data from the products that you sell. It can be through configuration logs, also from pre-sale, post-sale, obviously from sales. We analyze the Salesforce data, we analyze other inputs from sales, but we want them to be as data. We don't want words anymore, we don't want faces, we don't want impressions, we want facts, okay? And then lots of data is gathered in technical support, in the customer support. Everything should be analyzed these days. Obviously, ETL, analytics and prediction, this is a product that we at Spiral developed and we can implement within your business. So but anyway, this is what it requires. And then recommendations, actual recommendation, ranking of which features to which segments, how, and for what business cause. Because when we automate our business decisions, we change our business. We change the product marketing and sales. It is much easier to work with, I saw it in one of our clients, that it becomes much easier to work with sites that are farther sites, like the US and Israel together, because things become transparent. It is clear why decisions were made. So it takes off, the decision process is clearer, it obviously optimizes time and money, and the R&D is much more satisfied. As you probably know, there's always some tension between product and R&D on which feature is more important and why product thought that one is more important than the other. And it returns the control to the company as I'm guessing, at least from my friends that are sitting here, that some of you are startups that are growing very, very fast. We have so many customers. We must remember to implement ways to sample the usage of our products. Because then we can also create targeted products. The customers will be much more satisfied. And eventually, as the goal of this presentation was to discuss how to increase profits, because this way we increase retention, we build a better, we prevent churn, and obviously increase profits, as we discussed before. So I want to thank you for waiting with lunch and listening, and feel free to contact me. Here is my contact information, and I even came with business cards, and it was a pleasure. Thank you.